explain the very latest that's going on and this warning from the Israeli military for the evacuation of northern Gaza?
Yeah, of course. So I just came back from from the bomb shelter to do this interview because we're just getting sirens in Tel Aviv, in the center of Israel. Since the morning, Hamas, the terror organization controlling the Gaza Strip, is firing thousands of rockets into the cities of Israel, targeting innocent civilians. We got over 5,000 rockets from the Gaza Strip in the past week. You've seen what has happened in the recent Saturday of Hamas people, terrorists, butchering innocent civilians, raping women, beheading people, and taking over 100 hostages into the territory of the Gaza Strip. What Israel is doing at the moment is purely trying to defend its citizens. I've never seen this horrific attack in over 75 years of Israel's existence, of thousands of terrorists entering the border from Gaza, butchering people, lighting up houses, torturing people, killing entire families. We're talking about 1,300 people who are murdered by now by terrorists from the Gaza Strip. And I think it's highly important that the entire world would understand that we don't harm innocent Palestinians. Israel is targeting Hamas people. Israel is trying to defend itself. We highly appreciate all of the recent declarations of President Biden saying America is supporting Israel. We've recently, only yesterday, your defense minister, Lloyd Austin came here to Israel, made a declaration. Also the Secretary of State, Blinken, has made a very fierce declaration about the U.S. standing with Israel. And I think the entire world should join to fight this evilness.
Yeah, you mentioned the visit from Secretary Antony Blinken, and he obviously met with both Benjamin Netanyahu and the Palestinian president as well, talked about some of the horrific images that he was privy to, what he's seen. How was that coverage, his visit, perceived by Israel, as well as his visits with both sides of this issue?
Yeah, so Israel was always the best ally of the U.S. The U.S. has our backs. We share the same values, the same democratic values in the Middle East and in the world. And at the end of the day, Israel is a spearhead in the fight against fundamental Islam. What we're seeing now in Israel is no different than what ISIS has been doing in Europe and what Boko Haram has been doing in Africa or Al-Qaeda in the Middle East. This is our most horrific day. Recent Saturday was the most horrific day in the 75 years of Israel's existence. And I think the declaration from America saying to all of our enemies and all of our neighbors, from Hezbollah up north to Syria to Iran, do not mess with us, is an important message. And your Minister of Defense said just today, as he is arriving to Israel, he said, I know ISIS. The footage that I've seen of what Hamas has been doing to Israelis is way, way worse than what ISIS has been doing. So I think this is a wake-up call for the entire world to understand what we're dealing with.
Lital, from a professional standpoint for you, how are you able to continue doing your job? How are you going about doing that? I mean, I know you have a professional life, a personal life there, but you're obviously going from bomb shelter to bomb shelter in situations. What has life been like for you since Saturday?
Since Saturday, I've been interviewing people who've seen the most horrific scenes that anyone can imagine. I can tell you it's hard for me mentally to hear all of those stories, but it's hard for every person who live in Israel to understand what we're going through. We haven't experienced anything like that, as I've said, and the entire Israel, from the north to the south to the center of Tel Aviv, is now in their houses, staying closer to bomb shelters, making sure that they're safe, making sure that terrorists is not invading their cities, their towns. And for all of us in Israel, it's hard. But you have to understand that us Israelis, we're strong. We know the meaning of defending our country. This is the only Jewish country in the world, and we have to keep it safe. At the end of the day, in the Hamas charter, in the Palestinian charter, it says wipe out Israel off the map, and we will not allow that to happen. Over 300,000 IDF reservists has been recruited. We have a strong army, and we're going to stay put and to fight this evilness. So Israel is strong. We're all very much united, and we're so appreciative of all the help that we're getting from the U.S. And I think the entire world should understand what is going on in the world at the moment. But Israel will prevail.
Lital, we know what you risked to do this interview. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the work that you're doing for everyone there, and I just hope you stay safe.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Take care.